All right, we are live, Samir. Thank you for joining us, and I hope people know you by now. But if they don't know you, then what are they doing? No, just kidding.
Yeah. Well, it could be because my hair's gotten about 10% grayer in the past week and a half. So maybe they're thrown off by that.
Yeah, yeah. But anybody who's new here, we do
Yeah.
this every single Wednesday, 1 p.m. California time, 4 p.m. New York time. And then we also are going to do EB1A Masterclass. So link will be in the description if you're interested. Absolutely free. Samir is going to actually teach that Masterclass. Samir, if you want to do a quick intro for people who may not know you yet.
Yes. So I'm Samir, as you've mentioned about 4 times so far. Last name is Kedeker, immigration attorney here in the Silicon Valley area. A little sleepy because I had to wake up early for an early morning court hearing today.
Court hearing, what's going
Yeah.
on?
Well, I was to appear at a court hearing virtually. The hearing is in Dallas. So
Mm.
I'm in the Bay Area. So do the math. I had to wake up 2 hours. I had to
2 hours.
be there 2 hours before, right? The court hearing was at 8 o'clock. So I had to be in my suit and tie, for the camera by 6 a.m., which means I have to get up at 5. So, of course, anybody knows that when they have to get up at 5 and they have a court hearing the next day, they're up at what time? 1 o'clock in the morning. So I got up at 1 o'clock. I was like, I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about this case.
Okay,
And
so and
yeah,
maybe for people who don't know what's going on, can you
yeah,
explain why
yeah,
court and what's going on? Yeah.
yeah. It's good to explain because like what is Samir doing in court? Everyone knows Samir doesn't go to court. Like Samir's not that kind. Samir never wanted to go to court. But as many of you are hearing, lots of individuals on H1B and other visas are now getting notices to appear in court.
Mm.
So we're finding ourselves in a place where we can actually be useful and of service to those individuals because we understand why they're in status, why they shouldn't be in court. So now we find ourselves going to court to help defend and protect them.
Mm. And so these individuals who, because of their situation, of course, we have discussed this, they are getting NTAs, and you're representing them as their lawyer in the
Yeah,
court, and then trying to defend, I'm assuming, or dismiss the
yeah.
case.
Mostly trying to dismiss the case. And keep in mind, like many of these individuals have like H1Bs pending, and they have their own lawyers doing that, but they need their own lawyer to help them in court, kind of triangulate all the information and try to communicate it and educate the judges and the government counsels who have no idea what's going on, which sometimes can help because they're like happy that we're educating them. Sometimes can hurt because they think they know what they're doing when they really don't, and they make
Mm.
really bad decisions. And that's kind of what happened today.
Mm.
So
So, and I don't know if you can share what's going on in today's, like what happened.
yeah, well, high level hearing was in Dallas. If you might remember, we had another hearing in Dallas 2 weeks ago that was dismissed because the judge totally agreed with us. Mind you, the facts were exactly the same as
Mm.
that case, but we had a different judge. Now, this judge likes to listen to what the government counsel tells her to do. So this person had an H1B, our client had an H1B transfer pending. That should be good enough to get the case dismissed because they're in status, they have the H1B transfer, they're working. Happily, the case got approved a few minutes before the hearing. So I tried to show the judge and the government counsel the email, the premium processing email,
Mm.
but both did not want to look at it. Both said, we're going to continue this case and we're not going to make a decision until we see the official approval notice. So number one, it wasn't even good enough for them that there was an H1B transfer filed. Secondly, it wasn't even good enough that there was a premium processing email. The DHS attorney wanted me to produce evidence that DHS approved an H1B, which is ridiculous if you think about it. Like she couldn't figure it out on her own. But the judge kind of went along with whatever the attorney wanted. So that happens sometimes. We're going to find ourselves now in this kind of new world of this
Mm.
kind of crazy stuff happening, inconsistent stuff happening to
Mm.
people where the treatment should be consistent, right?
Yeah.
It should be transferred. The approvals, that adjudication should all be consistent. Now they're going to start being totally inconsistent based on judges and courts and locations and things like that if an NTA is involved.
Mm. Okay. Wow. And so, yeah.
So we're not worried for this person. Like once we get the approval, we'll terminate the case. But it was kind of unnecessary, right?
Mm.
To even go through this whole charade.
Even for transfers, this NTAs are happening.
I mean, you remember, it doesn't matter what the person's doing, right? It matters what, if the H1B is withdrawn, it doesn't matter what happened after that. The government, they're not checking. They're just
Wow.
not checking. They're just issuing NTAs. It's like you're a fisherman and you're just throwing a net into the water. I only want to catch salmon, but if I catch some dolphin, if I catch some whales, whatever, right? That's kind of what's happening here. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I see already few people are talking about H1B layoff, so we'll start with those questions. But if anybody needs help, Sameer's link is in the description. His and his team.
And we're gonna do a whole separate video on NTAs. I think tomorrow, right? I think that'll be really helpful for people. We'll focus on the most recent developments. So we have a bunch of updates, and we'll talk a lot more about it then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then again, Masterclass is happening. Sameer's, so will be their link in the description. And any other, I know we did the update on White House approving the proposal for H1B. And now we're just in the waiting phase, right? Like they're going to come up with the rule and then open a bit up for public to comment, basically.
That's right. Yeah.
But any other thing than those two updates?
Isn't that enough? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I think we're all exhausted by all these updates. So.
Yeah, there was a whole thing about aged out thing, aging out for. It was sad, but
that was sad. We can maybe talk. That's going to affect a slightly kind of smaller percentage of the population, but it's still pretty cruel.
Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. All right, we'll get to the questions and let's see. Here we go. H1B layoff, F1 change of status an option if 60 days grace period has passed. I have old I-94 date of March because passport has expired, but H1B was valid till 2026. Applied B2 change of status on 40th day, but only received yet. So,
ooh, you sound like somebody who needs to talk to a lawyer stat, because I see a few flags here. Your grace period has passed. You think you have a grace period after your H1B expiration of the old I-94, I think, but you don't. Because if you're a shortchanger in I-94, there's no grace period after that. So I would talk to, we need way more information to help you. So, and this is probably serious enough where you should talk to somebody and get a consultation.
Okay. Right. I was on H1B laid off in February, changed to B2. B2 was approved and valid until October 6th. What are my options if I do not get job by October 6th? Can I choose day one CPT or B2 extension?
Yeah, I mean, in pre-NTA land, either are options, honestly. And now in our new reality, I'm assuming you have not gotten an NTA, and please do check, because your H1B was laid off. You were laid off in February, so there's a chance that NTA could surface at any time. So please keep checking on the EOIR website. And Yudi, hopefully maybe you should post that link on your YouTube. To the EOIR case status check for everybody, because
can you say that again? Sorry, what?
Yeah, so there's a EOIR case status page, and that is where the general public can go and enter their own A numbers to see if there has been an NTA issued for themselves. So I can't check for anybody because I don't have your A number, right? But people can check for themselves. And
this is what it looks like.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And then what is this A number? Oh, okay. This is so
the A number is your alien number or your file number, right? So those of you that have had OPT, for example, it's your A numbers on your card. If you've had an I-140 approved, then you'll have a different A number on there. So that's where you would enter your A number.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. And that's how you find out if you have an NTA or not? Like they don't send you like a physical mail?
They do send you a physical notice to your lost known address, but sometimes people sometimes it's sent to the wrong address. Sometimes people haven't updated their address. So you can't 100% rely on yourself getting this mail. Plus, even if you do get it in the mail, it's often 3 to 4 weeks after it's issued. And so this is like one way to see it right away, right? Kind of get a heads up that there's been an NTA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I posted the link. But so in this case, if they have not...
keep checking, right? Number one, I'm assuming you have no NTA. You can do day one CPT. It's legal. It's on shaky ground, honestly. We would generally and independently, like usually, not recommend it. But if you're desperate, it's an option. B2 extension, also an option. But B2 extension can get denied. Like they're trying to get to these very quickly and deny them. Also keep in mind that once your B2 status expires, that might trigger an NTA as well. I've seen that as well. So you have two different cases here that might trigger it. If it's all the same to you, or even a little hard, like I would encourage you to leave the U.S. If you can, because that is really the only way to avoid getting thrown into immigration court nowadays.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. What toothpaste do you use?
Oh my God. Wow, they're shining. I hope. Well, I got these really bright lights, so maybe I can give credit to the lights and not necessarily the toothpaste. I think that's a compliment. Yeah,
right, it is a compliment.
Colgate, to answer your question.
Yeah. All right. I actually don't use Colgate, but anyway, I was on F1.
Well, that's why they're not commenting on your teeth.
True. Okay. I was on
a dental commercial.
Yes. I was on F1 OPT, applied for change of status from F1 to H4 online on 7/18/2025. Before my OPT expiration, which is July 24th, and have an e-receipt notice, can I stay in United States as change of status before my valid status expired?
Yes. And once again, we call it pre-NTA world. This is not a problem. I don't know if you're going to get an NTA because even though the OPT kind of has an expiration date, that doesn't always translate to a status expiration date. Or the kind of status expiration date that would trigger an NTA. It's generally SEVIS records being terminated that might generate an NTA notice, right? And so that's not really happening to you. So yes, as long as you applied for the change of status before the end of your OPT, you technically had a 60-day grace period after that too, but you did it before the end of your expiration, which is great. You are technically allowed, as far as we've always understood it, to stay in the US while the H4 is processing.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. My F1 STEM OPT is under processing since 3 months, but got laid off. Haven't found a job yet, and my EAD has not yet arrived. I'm unsure of how many unemployment days I've got. Is it 60 or 150?
The unemployment's cumulative, as I understand it, between OPT and STEM OPT. So you should talk to your school and kind of tell them exactly what your situation is. They can tell you, or if you want to talk to a lawyer, that person can help you. But whoever you talk to probably needs a little bit more information to answer this question. This is a very, very personal one. So count your unemployment days, the allowed unemployment period for OPT, plus the allowed unemployment period for STEM OPT, minus the amount of time you've been unemployed, and that's where you're at.
Yeah. Okay. I was on STEM OPT and my H1B was approved, but I lost my job. My H1B was scheduled to start in October with the company that just terminated me. What steps do I need to take to maintain my legal status?
I am dealing with this case right now, NTA case, in a very similar case to Marla, but we're catching you early. Okay, so hopefully we can prevent that from happening to you. Actually, you may not be able to avoid an NTA. Okay, what you can do is make sure you're in a good place to defend yourself against an NTA when it happens. Why am I saying that? Because an NTA is going to be triggered, or may be triggered. It's not guaranteed, but it may be triggered once your company withdraws the H1B notice, the H1B petition, okay, which they're required to do. So what you want to do, and you need that H1B, because what's also happening is like once an H1B is approved, that eventually terminates your SEVIS record, right?
Yeah.
So talk to your school right away is the absolute first thing I would do, is explain to them the situation, get them to help you monitor your SEVIS record, right? Talk to your employer, ask them when are they withdrawing the H1B. You need that done kind of right away, right? To make sure your SEVIS isn't terminated, right? And then go from there. What you need to do is make sure your F1 status continues, because if the SEVIS record is terminated due to the H1B approval, then you're going to fall out of status on October 1st.
Okay. Right. I'm a recent graduate on F1 OPT working at a pharmaceutical company in Santa Rosa. I work 10 to 15 hours of overtime every 2 weeks. Is working overtime allowed for F1 OPT employees?
Sure.
Yep. So yes is the answer.
The answer is yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I am on my 14th month of STEM OPT. I got my H1B picked this year and even got I-797A approved, but unfortunately getting laid off, and my last date is set to August 31st, 2025. So can I transfer my H1B to another employer before the petition is withdrawn? And what is the best thing to do at this situation? I already saw the mini video in which you discussed the same scenario.
Tough one. Okay, let's talk about transferring the H1B. You're not transferring. You can't do an H1B transfer because you're not in H1B status. Okay. What you possibly can do is if you have an interested employer, they may be able to do an H1B for you right now with an October 1st start date. Okay, because you were picked in the lottery. That's 50-50 if it'll be approved. Why? Because in order to get that H1B approved, the government has to agree that you were picked in the lottery. And some officers think that if you haven't started in H1B status on October 1st, you technically weren't picked. Like you don't have a number. Okay. So it's 50-50 and you're running out of time. Right. Because once the government notifies USCIS, number one, it's going to be harder to get another company's H1B approved. And then number two, you might get the NTA. So I would also definitely talk to your school, the same as the last person. Right? Let them know this happened. Make sure that they instruct you as to what you need to do to keep your SEVIS record kind of alive, right? Like keep it active because of this H1B. So make sure you talk to your school.
Okay. Can anyone suggest? I applied for STEM EAD card on April 24th. I see posts of people applying before me and after me getting approved. Is that something I should be concerned about?
I'm not close enough to the processing times of STEM EAD cards to be able to comment. April, so May, June, July, August, 4 months. I mean, there are places you can go check online, the USCIS processing times, and see if you're beyond processing times, to see if, at the location for which you filed, you can be able to tell if this is something you should be concerned about. You can always premium process these too.
Yeah. Okay. Have my green card is filing, but looking to head back to India. This political climate is not welcoming and wanted to say to anyone else, if survival isn't at stake, India is best. It's a statement. Okay.
You're hearing that more and more nowadays.
Yeah, that's the sentiment right now. If H1B expires on August 31st and extension is still in process, filed on April, is there any chance of getting NTA during 240-day grace period?
Good question. We haven't seen it yet, Priya, but yeah, I think there is a chance. Because why? When they're issuing NTAs, they're auto-triggering off expirations. And if the only thing they're checking for is to see if you left. They're not checking to see if an extension is filed, we think. We're not sure, we think. Because we haven't seen this scenario yet in the NTA context. So I'm hoping not for your sake, but there is a chance.
Mm.
Now, if you do get an NTA, it's a really good chance you can get it dismissed, but what a pain.
Yeah. Do you think STEM OPT work authorization will be removed for F1 student in near future?
Very tough to say. The incoming DHS secretary, the one who's going to be in charge of USCIS and all of immigration, very much wants to get rid of LPT, but they have to go through a whole process to do. They can't just say no more LPT. Like OPT is a rule enshrined in the regulations, right? So they have to go through a whole process to unwind it, and that would take a really, really long time and a lot of lawsuits. So it's not going to go away without a fight, if at all.
But that is that true for STEM OPT? OPT, yes, but the extension, the STEM OPT, is that also
for
same?
both? That's right. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. For NTA dismissal, which is preferable? Change of status to H1, H4, B2. What are the risks, and are NTAs being issued recently?
It's the very yes, NTAs are being issued. Well, so the latest NTAs we've seen that were issued, the issue dates were early July, but that's because it often takes people like a month to know they have an NTA, right? So if that's the measure, it seems like they're still being issued, right? But there's no way to tell for sure. I think they are. What is preferable? It's dependent on so many different factors that I can't just address here. It's dependent on your appetite for risk, your need to stay in the U.S. versus your ability to leave the U.S., the prospects of finding a job if you're married. There's so many different factors that you need to talk to an attorney about to get a recommendation here.
Okay. Can multiple employers file H1B transfer petition for same person if they have offer from these companies? What are the potential risks or implications?
PK is the one that drives lots of companies crazy, but yes, it is technically possible and legal for this to happen. I would say I understand why you would do that, because you're not really sure. Well, I guess like some people would do it because they're not really sure, well, one may want an H1B transfer filed because like they need a transfer filed, but they really want company B because that job is better. And once the transfer filed, they would allow company B to file for them. I understand that. Okay, I understand why you would do that, but don't always agree with it, right? Like it's there is something to be said about being kind of upfront and honest with the company that's going to hire you, right? Hopefully they would be the same to you. But that being said, ethics aside, know what you're doing. Legally, it's possible to do this. Yeah.
Okay. The EOR asks for A number, but most H1Bs don't have A number.
No, that's not true. Most H1Bs have the A number from their OPT, if they had an OPT. And if they have an I-140, then they have a different A number based on their taking the permanent residency track. But either way, most H1Bs have an A number. If they don't have either, then yes, it's true. Then it's not really possible to check until you get one in the mail. They create an A number for you in the NTA process in that case.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I am on L1B waiting for my extension. Meanwhile, can I do investment in US? I'm thinking to invest in something big which will help me qualify for EB5 green card, whether to do it in my name or my wife's.
Wow. You want to invest $1 million plus, and you're asking a 2-line question on this podcast of whether or not you should do so. Talk to an EB5 lawyer. This is a very complicated area, rife with fraud, by the way, and so many concerns and factors you got to take into account here. So definitely talk to a lawyer. By the way, one of the benefits of doing the EB5, aside from eventually getting the green card, takes a long time, but you're able to file for the adjustment of status concurrently, right? But now we're in a place with USCIS where they're not necessarily considering an adjustment of status filed alone to be enough to keep you in status anymore. Like now they're throwing a lot of doubt into that question, right? So a lot of things to think about in terms of whether or not you should be doing this EP5.
Nice. Okay, I'm planning to travel out of US to Egypt for 1 month September. What do you think? Well,
see the pyramids, Sphinx. I'm jealous. I think I'm jealous.
Yeah,
that's what I really think. Sorry, Naseem. You got to give us a little more info on that, bro, because we need to know exactly what status are you in, or what concerns do you have? Why are you worried about traveling?
Yeah,
if at all. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, my husband has LPR since 5 years, and it's going to apply for US citizenship now. One of the legal clinics suggests FBI background check. So wanted to confirm, is it really necessary, as he does not have any criminal history except few traffic violation like speeding?
Yeah, so traffic violations are not a big deal unless they were so egregious in some states, they're considered misdemeanors.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's why this legal clinic, you probably talked to a law student who probably didn't really quite know what to tell you and was wondering why you're asking them this question, but trying to be helpful and being overcautious. Okay. As long as you have confirmations that these violations were infractions and not misdemeanors, as most tickets are, there shouldn't be an issue. I don't think you need to get an FBI background check, but you do need to report it on the N400 form. Okay, and by the way, you'll be doing biometrics, or your husband will be doing biometrics when they apply for citizenship. So they'll be getting the background check done there anyways. For USCIS's benefit, not yours.
What is LPR? Lawful permanent resident?
Lawful green card holder. So this is you. Any traffic tickets on your end? Really?
Nope.
Anything we should know about? No?
I'm like a very old person driver. I drive very carefully.
Okay. Hopefully nothing else on the recreational end that do not admit it here in public if there is.
No, nothing.
I've heard some of the green card holders. Have you seen these stories?
No.
They've had ancient drug offenses. They've had green cards for many years, relatively minor, but some drug offenses 10, 15 years ago, traveling now and getting detained and thrown out of the country.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah.
Good things I don't do any of those things. All right.
There's some interesting plans behind you, so I don't know if I quite believe you.
Well, they're all fake plans. All right. My question is, after approval of H1B cap exam visa, is it necessary to have a visa stamp, or is it fine to have an approval notice?
A visa stamp is only necessary if you plan to travel outside the U.S. and re-enter on your H1B. If you do not plan to travel, you do not need a visa stamp. That being said, you don't know when you need to travel until you know you need to travel, right? At that point, it may be too late to get a visa stamp. So many people proactively get the stamps just in case it becomes a necessity for them later on.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah. How does a person like me on STEM OPT try and get a job if applications are rejected by everyone at application level, even though I perform well due to sponsorship requirement? Systems feel rigged. I'm sorry, Ajay. That's just how the job market is right now.
The market is horrific right now, Ajay. So it's not just you. I understand your feeling. I don't really have any immigration advice for you, unfortunately. But keep your head up, keep going, keep trying. You are your own best friend. If you don't, give yourself a chance, no one will. So make sure that you are doing whatever you can to stay positive and motivated throughout this process. Okay, I know it's hard.
Look at you, like full-on motivational speaker. We need more of that.
No one's going to help you in life, man. It's just except for yourself, right? I think that's one lesson I've learned. And if you have a great spouse like I do,
yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's married or not, but yeah, get it. All right. What about freshmen who just graduate from universities and companies don't give high wages to the freshers? What situation I'm in? I think he's talking about the new
The lottery.
H1B.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we don't know if that's going to be the rule, but that seems to be the direction the government's going in. So, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, I mean, but again, we don't know. Yeah, like we said, we don't know what the rule is yet. So who knows? But I think similar question, wage-based system. Do you know any way to check if I'm eligible to qualify? Any website to
Well, the
check?
rules haven't been published yet. We don't even know what the rules say. We just know that there's like
A
the
speculation that
inclination, right? An inclination that they want to give priority to those with higher paying jobs. They haven't defined what that means yet, right? And so that's the next step, is to wait for their proposed rule that has to go through a notice and comment period, followed by the final rule, and then an implementation date, assuming they don't get sued. Okay, there's a lot of things happening between now and then. But right now, we don't even have a proposed rule, so we don't know how to advise you on this question.
Yeah, and how will they implement it? Even if they propose it, like do they have the systems to do that? Like we don't know that. Okay. I am graduating this month and I applied for EAD. Timeline shows approximately 7 to 8 months till the time I get my approval. My status stays legal, right?
Ooh, that is a great question. So I actually don't know the answer to that question, and I'm wondering why. Like, I should know the answer to that question. I'm assuming you do. I don't think your unemployment period begins until you get your OPT card, right? Assuming you applied in the right time frame. But check with your school to make sure on that one. This is the kind of stuff that they're supposed to guide you on. And if you need any more advice, feel free to contact us, and we can kind of do a little bit of research for you.
Yeah, but that is weird. Like, I mean, that is technically 7 extra months that they have.
Yeah, I haven't seen the OPTs taking that long before. They're generally always taking about 3 or 4 months. I didn't realize they're taking so long now.
I mean, they're busy sending NTAs, so I guess
they're using all that paper for that. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right. I'm on F1 OPT. I have a full-time job and I also secured another job, but my DSO said I'm not allowed to do 2 jobs. Can you please guide me what to do?
That is incorrect. I believe you're allowed to do 2 jobs. Maybe because that other job, it says full-time. Like, it's not really physically possible to do 2 full-time jobs. So maybe if you can ask the DSO, can the other job be part-time? Then they might allow it. Otherwise, just go online and find resources I even believe there is a DHS website that says that you can have 2 jobs on OPT and show that to them. A lot of times DSOs are not as informed as you'd like them to be, unfortunately.
Yeah. What's the minimum salary required for H1B for someone in cybersecurity working in DC? Is there a website like we can take a look or no?
I just feel like they're asking me to refer to the calculator in my brain to figure this out. There's absolutely a website. Just Google prevailing wage data, BLS, and you can kind of do your own research. This is not something that we would know off the top of our head. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, including what does the job require? What does the job require? Where are you located? What are the job duties? There's lots of different things that go into it. So we don't have an answer to that question. That's something that, once you get sponsored for your job, your H1B attorney can help you with.
And is this, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but is this kind of...
This is the one. Yeah, that's the one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can kind of experiment. They don't necessarily, they don't break down, if you go to the data series, they don't break down jobs by different types of, engineering. It's like, I don't think there's a cybersecurity job, right? It's just going to be software engineering. So you kind of have to.
Yeah, so you'll have to know the code.
Yeah, you got to understand how they organize and categorize jobs and use the right code.
Where is DC? Like, how do you see DC? Is it?
So if you select a state or territory, Washington, D.C. should be one of them.
But Washington is not the one, right?
It's not. I mean, no, I can't see. I don't see the drop
Oh,
down.
you can't see the drop
Yeah.
down. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, there
maybe
is.
District of Columbia. I don't know how it is on that site, but
Okay.
there's definitely a way to see it.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right. I was curious. Oops, sorry. There we go. Let me stop sharing. I applied for change of status F1 to H4 before OPT expiration. Is there any way to prevent my SEVIS record to change it to complete or terminated?
Yeah, talk to your school, Arthi. I don't think. The way this works is like I don't think your record's going to be terminated until your H4 is approved, anyways. But ask your school and just kind of make sure you're in the clear there. This is really a problem for H1Bs, right? Who were approved, causing a SEVIS termination, but then lost their job and no longer. Do you understand? And wish actually they want to kind of go back and say, just kidding, right? That's where the big problem is.
And is it automatic? Like if the H1B gets approved, it's automatically SEVIS?
Yeah, like their process is to turn that into a SEVIS termination. Yeah.
Okay. I'm on STEM OPT until February 2027, earning near level 1 for my SOC code in Ohio. Will that be enough for my employer to file under the current random H1B lottery, or could it be an issue? If DHS wage rule starts in 2027, would level 1 still have a chance? Like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I mean, you're concerned about whether or not you can get an H1B, and the answer is we don't have an answer for you yet because we haven't seen the rules. Okay.
But if that doesn't go, yeah.
What's that?
I was going to say, if the rule doesn't go through for next year, will he still be able to participate in the random?
You should be able to. I mean, there's no prohibition against level 1 H1Bs. They may get RFE'd occasionally, but otherwise, they're usually approved.
And for this year's lottery, if people have level 1, have you seen people getting RFEs or no?
We haven't, but it has happened in the past.
Okay. All right. I've applied for STEM OPT. I've received my receipt notice. What are my best options if I lose my job before STEM OPT is approved?
Find another job.
You just have unemployment period, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I contacted my school regarding the same question. They said 60 days clock starts only after approval of EAD and not at the time of application. Also, estimated time for EAD isn't accurate. Mine was showing 9 months and it still got approved last week.
Wow. So it's not just long, it's fake news at the same time.
Yeah. Wild. Okay. I'm traveling to India currently on my first year of STEM OPT and have full-time job. Is it safe to travel?
I haven't heard of anybody in your situation having a hard time, assuming they have their visa stamp. Full-time job. Yeah. So is it, don't get mad at me if something happens, but for the most part, I think this has been relatively safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What happens if I can't get STEM OPT EAD card before my extended expiration date of EAD ends? Oh, interesting.
So if you can't get the STEM OPT card before the expiration date of your OPT, you're talking about your OPT? So long as you applied for the STEM OPT before the expiration of your OPT, right? Then you are given, I believe it's 180 days of work authorization until your STEM OPT is approved.
So that's what she's asking. What happens if it goes beyond 180 days?
Oh, beyond that, then you can't work until you get the card.
Interesting.
Yeah, your company will have to take you off.
That's where you can do premium processing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Assuming the rule gets through and from 2026, H1B is given to the person with the highest salary. Let's say the salary minimum for H1 is 150. What happens to the existing H1s in US who earns less than that?
You mean, why this is not fair?
Yeah.
It's like, you mean, are they going to inject fairness into this whole process? No. Does this administration seem like they care about fairness? No, they don't. So people who are already here on H1B are grandfathered into the process. So it's going to be for qualifying for an H1B in the future.
Does that mean extension will
No,
be?
because it's basically to get an H1B in the lottery, you have to have a high paying job, right?
Oh, gotcha.
But
So,
if you already have an H1B, you're not going through the lottery anymore.
gotcha. Got it.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't be surprised if that's next on the agenda is to make it everybody, right? But we haven't seen anything about that yet.
Okay. Right. I'm on my STEM OPT working in a firm with a contract position. And this year, my H1B got picked through the lottery. I filed for consular process due to my contract ends very soon. As per the new policy implemented recently, do I need to travel back to India for stamping to legally work here, or the stamping is only necessary if I decide to travel?
No, I mean, if you chose consular processing, the only way to activate the H1B is to get a stamp and enter the US. So there's no other way to activate it. So for you, stamping is necessary. It's not per new policies, right? This has always been the case. If you file for consular processing, why did you file for consular processing? I guess is my question. You could have done a change of status.
Due to my contract ends very soon. I'm not sure I understand that part.
So I'm not sure I understand. It has something to do with their STEM OPT expiring. I'm not quite sure what the idea is here.
I mean, I'm assuming they're working for some consultancy and they have a client, and that client project is probably ending very soon. So
yeah, but if you do a change of status, you get cap right through October 1st. You don't have to leave the US. But if you choose consular processing, you don't. So if you chose consular processing, you basically have to leave the US before you run out of status here, and then take the approval notice and get a visa stamp earliest is September 20th and re-enter the US with the H1B.
But they can continue to work until their STEM OPT expires, correct?
Assuming they have work to do.
Yeah. Sorry, there was a question. Will this new rule applicable for H1B cap exam?
Yes, all H1Bs. Yes, unfortunately.
Okay. My H1B got stamped in 2024 to 2027, and I'm in India working with US company and planning to travel in October 25 to US. My passport expires in April 26. What to do? So is that 6 months? Yeah, that is 6 months. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my question is what to do about what. There's a lot of context here that's missing, and you probably need to talk to an attorney. One is the government's increasingly giving those H1B holders who have been kind of parked in India for a long time a hard time. Legally, there's no problem with what you're doing, but practically, they're just giving them a hard time. So that's one issue. Number two issue is if your passport's expiring and you're coming in on October 25th, you may only get 6 months of status versus, another year and a half or whatever it is you're entitled to. So lots of issues you need to talk through with your H1B lawyer, I think, in this case.
Yeah. And then I guess, should he renew the passport? And if he does renew, he doesn't need like another stamp or anything, right? Like he just...
Yeah, absolutely renew it if you can. Hopefully you have time.
Yeah, I mean,
then you would take both passports with you.
Yeah,
right, because the first one has a stamp in it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. My wife might travel to India during her vacation break for a period close to 50 days. Is there anything that we need to consider in terms of immigration due to many recent changes happening? Is it safe, or what kind of questions do we need to prepare with her status F1?
Yeah, talk to a lawyer, please, if you want to get specific advice as to how to keep somebody's travel safe in a specific situation, because that person needs to review your file, understand your history. We can't just answer this question with, reading these 3 lines of text. I understand why you're asking, but as an attorney, I can't give you advice without knowing the information. But generally speaking, so long as she is maintaining her status, if she's in school, she's taking her classes, her I-20 is endorsed for travel, everything is secure as an F1 visa stamp. If she meets all the requirements for travel, then that's what she should be doing, just making sure she meets all the requirements for travel.
Yeah. Okay. Earlier today about salary. Okay. I'm about to start a contract position with a client with my relative's company running W2 for me. I'm also planning to build a SaaS product and sell it to small business through the same company. Would the extra income from this SaaS company be counted towards my salary for H1B purposes? Could it move me to a higher salary bracket?
Oh my gosh. Shouldn't ask questions like this in a public setting, but but no, I mean, technically it's your salary that's only counted towards your salary. Okay. Now, how does your employer compute your salary? That's whatever contract you have with your employer behind the scenes. That's a matter of agreement for you. But whatever your salary is your salary, right? And that amount needs to be reported to be higher than whatever the minimum is, if this rule does in fact come into play.
Okay. Arti is saying, I read somewhere after OPT 60 days grace period complete, it may trigger automatic change status close the
Yeah, I worry about that, Arti, because it's not supposed to. I know the government's trying to change it, but right now, you know how on your I-94 it says F1s don't have an expiration, they have a duration of status, or D/S, right? That's because under the rules, F1s are not supposed to be given an expiration to their status, right? They're trying to change that rule to make it harder on students. But as of right now, I don't believe it'll trigger an NTA for that reason, but you never know, right? These are just different times we're living in.
Okay. I have H1B in change of status from F1. So I want to do stamping. So do I only need to travel to home country, or can I go to Mexico or Canada and get it stamped?
It's always best to get your first H1B of any kind, or first visa stamp of any kind, in your home country. It's not required, but it's always a good idea. That being said, people have successfully gotten their first visa stamps, H1B stamps, in Canada. Mexico is a little tougher. I'm not quite sure what the current policy is as a third country national. You're generally supposed to have ties to Mexico in some way, shape, or form to be able to get a stamp there. But others have figured it out. So it's kind of like a random process there. Canada's a better bet, but Canada has long wait times.
Okay. I'm currently on F1 CPT, which ends on August 29th. I'm planning to travel to India and would like to know if I can work remotely from there while still on CPT.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in India, U.S. immigration law doesn't control what you can and can't do.
Yeah. Okay. Does bonus and profit sharing count for the wage thing for H1B?
No, it does not.
Oh, is it the base salary?
It's guaranteed salary. Yes.
Guaranteed
So
salary.
if bonus is guaranteed, then perhaps, but bonuses are never guaranteed, right? Profit sharing certainly isn't guaranteed and predictable, right? Just by definition.
Stock options, if they are guaranteed, like
no, but you don't know what amount you're going to get, right? So, by guaranteed, I mean you know exactly what the amount is.
Interesting.
So if they're going to, nobody gets guaranteed like additional compensation. It's all dependent on something or another, right? So that's for that reason it can't be counted towards the salary for these purposes.
Okay. I joined late. Okay. Are we really looking at the wage-based H1B selection starting next year, or will it get blocked, dimmed down, just like the last time?
So yeah, and watch the video we did yesterday, Harsh, on this. I don't know what's going to happen, honestly, because like everything they're doing this time around is the same as what they tried last time, but they're doing it better. So last time it didn't work. They got sued and they got shut down. They're probably going to get sued again, but they may not get shut down because they're trying to do it the legal way this time. So it remains to be seen. Yeah.
Okay. Quick question about B1, B2 visa. My parents visited me for 2 months, December 2024 to February 2025, and now want to come again for 3 months as we are expecting a baby. Does it raise any flags as it's 5 out of 12 months?
The answer is it's very subjective. We're talking about individual officers. Okay, so I can't tell you whether or not a flag will be raised or not. I think if they only came for 2 months last time, and now they're coming as a baby coming, they're coming to see their future grandchild. That's a very common reason. It shouldn't be an issue. Make sure that they come with the explanation and are able to articulate why they're coming. But the mere fact of being here for 5 months out of 12 months on 2 different trips, usually not an issue, but you never know.
Okay. I joined late. What is NTA? Any link which explains it? I'm waiting for my L1B extension since January 31st. I-94 is expired. Do I need to be afraid as I have an extension receipt?
Any link which explains the NTA. I've only done 15 LinkedIn posts on this, and yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, we're doing a video. How about that? We're doing a video this coming week. Watch that video, and that'll help you. If you're waiting for an L1B extension since January 31st, my goodness, you're almost done with your 240 days. You do need to be afraid. Yes. Yeah. Talk to your employer, figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am doing second master's day 1 CPT. After its completion, will I get 60-day grace period gets renewed, assuming I used my first master's 60-day grace period?
I don't know. This is where I don't want to make any rash judgments here. So talk to your school on that one, because I actually don't know if you're going to get a grace period. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Do you think they'll be able to get Birthright citizenship out by September?
Oh my God. Just when we thought we were done talking about it, they pull us back in. Birthright citizenship. So that's kind of like a TBD thing. Okay. Their class action lawsuits now filed, trying to, or successfully stalling that process. So I don't think September. No, I don't think so. That this is going to happen. It's not going to be for quite a while. Supreme Court's going to end up having to hear this, and I'm still very hopeful that they're going to rule the right way.
Okay. My friend filed for STEM OPT on April 22nd. OPT expired June 3rd. Okay. And he has lost his job on July 14th. The application is still pending. What should he do?
Yeah, so he's accruing on. So basically, you're still waiting for the STEM OPT to come through, but it's as if you had a STEM OPT. So you're in the STEM OPT period, accruing unemployment time.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of that and try to find a job as soon as possible.
Does US actually have 85,000 candidates currently in wages level 2, 3, and 4? I'm guessing there might not be many people with that high wage level.
Well, it's not that everybody has to have the wage, but the people like that the highest wages get the first crack. Do you understand? So, or at least that's what they're saying. Again, we don't know for exactly sure until we see like the actual proposed rules. So in theory, we have 300,000-400,000 applicants every year. There's still going to be more than 85,000 applicants, right?
Right. So they're just going to sort it from highest to lowest.
That's correct. Yeah, I think that's what they're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily level 4. It's like whoever has the highest.
Starting at level 4.
Yeah.
But I would venture to say there probably are 85,000 at that salary.
Okay. All right. We'll do one last question. Planning to renew F1 visa in Mexico instead of India. Thoughts on this? With all the delays and other stuff.
Godspeed. I would say with Mexico, like I said, I don't know if they accept third country nationals, right? This is not something that, I am like intimately familiar with. And so I know often they require you to have some sort of ties to Mexico or some sort of residency in Mexico to be able to apply there. So that's something you have to figure out. Hopefully they'll let you in and they let you apply, but it can be risky.
Okay. Sorry, I said last question, but here we go. Are there any issues working remotely from India for 1 month on H1B? I have to attend an important event. My employer doesn't have any issues with it.
I don't think so. It's like going on vacation for a month, right? I think anything longer than several months might cause some flags in today's day and age, but 1 month should be okay.
Okay. Awesome. And here we go. You're doing great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh.
Thanks to UD, me, and Colgate for a great.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Samir. We'll see you tomorrow for the NTA. More details on
Look forward
updates.
to it.
Yeah. And then, of course, we're gonna do EBA Masterclass next week as well.
EB1A, O1, NIW. Now is not the time to be messing around. Like your status on your visa, like it's nothing set in stone anymore. With layoffs, like it's like nobody's trying to help you, but there is one way you can help yourself, and that's with the EB1A, with the NIW, or with the O1. So we're going to talk about how to get yourself ready for one of those 3 in an upcoming masterclass.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk soon next week. Tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
Yep. Hold on, Samir.